Hey folks, welcome back to yet another video. Today we'll be discussing a new topic, that is rate limiting. So let's begin. Before jumping straight into the topic, let us discuss some sort of case study to help us understand the topic better. Suppose we open our library. This is the kind of business we have. So in the initial days, obviously the footfall would be low. So what we do aggressive marketing. So the very next day what happens? Suppose our aggressive marketing was very successful and our traffic increased tenfolds of what initially it was. But our library wasn't accustomed to this amount of traffic. So what we had to do, we had to shut down our library for that day. So this was not a very good experience for the users, obviously. The very next day, the manager decided this should not happen anymore. To prevent that from happening, what we did, we had a security guard in front of our library who made sure that every 1 hour, not more than 100 people were allowed to enter it. Our business was going quite well in this situation. Now, our library had gained some amount of reputation in the past few days, and there was a competitor library which had taken notice. This is our competitor, and let's say our competitor is not very good one. He is some evil kind of competitor who wants to destroy our business. So what he does, he sends fake 100 people to our library and in our library we have 100 people who were sent by our competitor and not the original customers. So what happens, our library reputation went down day in and day out because of this. This was not very good for the business. So what we had to do, we had to do something. Our library manager again decided that if specific number of people, let's say X people, were allowed from a specific position, let's say the address of this one is Y Street. So if more than X people comes from Y Street, we won't be allowing every hour. So something of this sort of restriction was put on by our manager, that 100 people every hour, but in the 100 people, not more than 10 people from a specific place per place. Our business was again flourishing like this. So our library was going well and good, and our manager decided to introduce something new to improve our business. This is our library, and here is our manager. What he says to the customer, that whenever a customer requests a book, he would search the library. In case the library denies the request, he would use additional resources to make sure that book reaches the customer. So this was a very good thing that the customer liked it, and our library's business went up once again. But what happened, that many customers were here, but they started abusing the system. They made several requests, and in that case the library had to make several external requests which used library's own funds for that. What happened, our library started bleeding money, which is not again good for our business. So our manager had to do something. The manager said that at every given hour only 25 requests would be accepted by the library which pertain to external calls. So initially it was like this: 100 people could enter the library every hour, 10 people per place every hour, and another restriction was put that 25 external requests every hour. So our library was again successful. Now let us compare the library with rate limiting. What we have our library, the center of attraction. This pertains to our own system. We have our libraries manager. Manager is the rate limiter. Then we have our competitor. Competitor is no one but another attacker, and sending multiple people, it was just an example for DDoS attack. After that, what else we have? We have internal calls, which was restricted by the manager. This was nothing but internal rate limiting. We saw rate limiter using the example of our library, but let us go through the need of rate limiting in a real world system. So why do we need rate limiting? First is to prevent abuse of our system, either by attackers or surge in genuine request. You can see it something like Amazon Black Friday sale, or we have our very famous Flipkart Big Billion Day sale in India. The next point is it restricts amping up our infra cost. You know that some systems are completely reliant on external cloud providers like AWS or Azure or Microsoft Azure. So they have auto scaling set, and in case multiple requests come, so the auto scaling would be increasing the bill for our servers. Next, whenever we have multiple requests, this causes failure in one system, causing failure in another, causing failure in another. This is the example of a cascading failure. Then we have multi-tier rate limiting. You might have seen that in various applications. There you have some free limit, and after you cross the free limit, we have to pay for the premium services. Now, our rate limiter can do one of the following things to deal with the external request. It can either ignore the request or it can completely reject the request. There is a minor difference between ignoring the request and rejecting the request. So, ignoring and rejecting kind of similar. There is but one difference. If it is rejected, we throw the error. We are experiencing great traffic. Please try later. But in case we are ignoring the request, we just send 200 and do nothing. The user is not even aware that his or her request is not being served. Then we have another method of dealing it, that is storing the request in a message queue and consuming it as per our server's capacity. That means we are just slowing the request processing over here. So that's it from rate limiter for this one. In the next video, we'll be seeing various algorithms that are used for rate limiting. So that's it for the video. Hope you like it. Thank you.